everyone, it's Sean from What Up. Welcome back to another video, and today we have some Season 3 casting news for you directly from WoTSeries.com. Yes, it's been a long time since we've seen any news that's noteworthy at all, let alone new castings, but WoTSeries.com always has our backs, and they are definitely doing the lights work, keeping the fandom engaged in between the seasons. So, today we're going to talk about two new cast members that WoTSeries recently announced, and we'll talk about where I think they may fit into the third season, as we don't know their roles just yet. So if you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here. We cover Wheel of Time show news, pretty much anything and everything about the Wheel of Time. That's what we talk about here. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel, tell a couple of your friends, and of course, like the video, because I'm terrible at selling the channel, but you folks are doing a really great job of spreading the word about What Up. So one other thing I do want to note, if you're already subbed, make sure you check to see if you're subbed. Quite a few people have messaged me recently saying that they've been unintentionally unsubbed from the channel, whether it's something that YouTube is doing recently with the algorithm or just something specific with their accounts, but it's been more than one person. So if you think you're subbed, please take a quick check just to make sure you're actually still subbed to the channel, so you don't miss any of the new and upcoming Wheel of Time news, like the leaks I have for you folks. I'm going to release probably Wednesday or Thursday this week. Yes, I get some more of those. We'll talk about those at the end of the video. So, because we are talking stuff with Season 3, I have to give a bit of a spoiler warning, so spoiler warning! In today's video, we're talking characters and possible roles for Season 3 of Sony and Amazon's Wheel of Time show. So if you've not read the first 4 books of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, that's The Eye of the World, Through the Shadow Rising, and have not seen the first 2 seasons of the show, be forewarned, I may ruin plot points and character arcs from both of those mediums. But if you're like me and you don't care about spoilers and you just want to hear everything now, this video is definitely for you. Alright, let's get on to the video. Alright, so like I said at the beginning of the video, this information comes to us from WoTSeries.com, and I've left a link to the original article down below in the description box. So when you're done this video, head over there, bookmark their page, read the article, check out everything else they've had, and I'm not exaggerating when I say they've come out with more news than everyone else in the Wheel of Time fandom, both official and unofficial combined, and they're the real glue that holds the fandom together in between seasons, and they don't get enough credit for it. Amazon and Sony certainly give them zero credit. And I think the fandom certainly doesn't give them enough credit either. They really do work very hard for what they do. So if you folks like news in between seasons, if you like leaks, then go support WoTSeries. Do everything you can to help them out, because they're doing this because it's fun, kind of like what I do. So the more people that appreciate what they do, I'm sure the more they'll really dig in and give us some more news. So that being said, we're going to talk about 2 separate cast members in the article that they released. The first one is Fredrik Wagner. We see him here. He's a Swedish actor. He's been acting since 2007, and he's over 40 credits to his name. Now, he does television, movies, as well as produces a ton of different stuff. So his CV is pretty long, and he has a lot of experience in the entertainment industry. Now, WoTSeries.com has no idea which character he'll be playing, and neither do I for that matter. However, they were able to do a little bit of digging, because on his CV it said that Thomas Napper would be the director of the episodes that he's in. And that is what we think to be episodes 3 and 4 of Season 3. He was also spotted in Prague around June of last year, which would have lined up the timelines, at least kind of, to when they filmed episode 3 and 4 of Season 3. So he is likely going to be in the 3rd or 4th or both episodes, and possibly more, just because Thomas Napper was listed as director does not mean that he is not appearing in more episodes later on. But we really don't know. Now, to guess who he would play, that's a hard one, because we don't have a ton of information here. I would like to think that perhaps he's going to play another Forsaken, or perhaps a Dark Friend, because we haven't seen many of those released. In fact, we know of one new Forsaken for Season 3. It's Michaellindle. She was in sort of the last scene of Season 2. And there's a bunch of other ones we can speculate at. Raven, for example, if they do the Camelin storylines with more gays, we could see Samael, and I suspect we will see Samael at some point or another, just because he is such an important Forsaken. Asmodean as well. Now, if you remember way back in Season 1 when we saw those Forsaken statues, we saw a guy with a harp. A lot of people are really sure we're going to get Asmodean in the next season, and I would love to see him show up on screen, even though maybe the teaching the One Power might be Logain's kind of tied to the rest of the series. I really don't know how that's going to work, because he sort of kind of met with Rand, and they talked about it a bit on screen in Season 2, and there's a lot of theories that he would take over instead of Asmodean to teach Rand the One Power, but then Rand kind of just took off and left him sitting in Kyrian. So I really don't know how things are going to play out. So let me know in the comments down below your folks' best guess on who you think Frederick's going to be playing. I, for one, would love to say that he's playing a Forsaker and a Dark Friend. I can't narrow it down to exactly who we're going to see him play. That's my guess. And like all other castings that we don't know the characters for, I'll be compiling these as we get closer to Season 3 or during Season 3 and letting you know which ones I guessed right, which ones you guessed right. So make sure you leave your guesses down below in the comments. All right, up next we have Michaellindle. He's been acting since 2006 and has a writing credit on a number of different television and movie productions. And he has a long list of credits to his name, but you probably recognize him from Discovery of Witches, Deep State, and he's going to be in the next season of Outlander, so he's been a pretty busy guy. Now, how did WoTSeries.com find out that he was part of the show? Well, they put a little bit of a grain of salt in their article with Michael. Basically, they don't know for sure he's going to be in the show. But when you have too many coincidences happening at the same time, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck. Basically, Michael was spotted in Prague in June of 2023. Now, that in itself is not odd. Prague is a town that does a lot of different television and movie productions, so actors are there all of the time. However, it's when you start popping up in social media posts of the cast members that people start to take notice, especially in multiple posts. Michael was seen in a lot of different social media posts featuring some of the cast, specifically the Two Rivers cast. So WoTSeries.com is speculating that he's likely going to play a member of the Two Rivers or someone in the Two Rivers storyline. Now, I myself would like to think that perhaps Michael is going to be playing a White Cloak, because we know we're getting a ton of different White Cloaks that are going to show up in the Two Rivers for next season. And I only know of a couple of different White Cloaks that have been announced for next season by myself and WoTSeries.com, sort of as leaks, but we really don't know too many of them. And I like the idea of perhaps Michael playing a White Cloak. So let me know in the comments down below who you think Michael's going to play. We're pretty sure he's going to be part of the Two Rivers storyline, but we're not 100%. Like I said, we'll compile all our guesses together when Season 3 drops, and we'll see what's right and what's wrong. Now, we know there's going to be a number of different storylines next season. We know for sure there's going to be a storyline in the Tower. We know for sure there's going to be a storyline, at least partially in Camelin. We know they filmed some scenes there. We know there's going to be a storyline in Tanchico. We know there's going to be a storyline in the Two Rivers. And we know there's going to be a fairly big storyline in the Waste, Roydian / other places there like Cold Rock's Hold. We know that's going to happen next season through leaks and all the other different things we've talked about here on the channel. So that being said, and in WoTSeries kind of inspired me, I have a ton of different castings I've been sitting on. So I will be releasing a couple of different castings over the next few days. So we're looking at sometime later this week, expect a few castings from me. So that's actors and roles for Season 3. And then next week, probably the same. And then I have some little plot tidbits I want to share with you folks as well. So all that is coming in the next few weeks. Now, just remember, there's not a ton of news right now out there for Season 3 of The Wheel of Time. Lord of the Rings, unfortunately, is taking up a lot of the bandwidth for Amazon. So Wheel of Time is not only not being pushed, but I dare say that it is kind of being suppressed on social media by Lord of the Rings and a few other big fantasy things that are out there right now. So I'm going to try to space out these releases over the next few weeks in the hopes that it'll bring a little bit of light back to the Wheel of Time here and there. So you folks can also do your part. And I'm not saying not watch Lord of the Rings. I'm not saying not give Amazon's other properties your attention. But what I am saying is social media is a very powerful tool. And if you like the Wheel of Time, especially if you enjoy the show and you want to see more of the Wheel of Time, posts relating to the Wheel of Time, tagging Sony Pictures Television as well as Amazon Prime, and tagging the official Wheel of Time account can't hurt. I mean, realistically, they're the ones that, at least Sony and Amazon are the ones that are making the show. And if they see a ton of traffic as far as online engagement goes, which is a metric that they do measure, that's a good thing. So if you like the show, talk about it online, share it with your friends. Of course, Amazon's been really poor at marketing the show so far. I'm really hoping they ramp things up for Season 3 and at least bring it to the level that we've seen this year for Lord of the Rings. That's what my hope is anyway. But there's a ton of dedicated fans of the show out there, and I'm sure you folks can scream just as loud as the official accounts and the official marketing team that Amazon has on the Wheel of Time. So that's my little tidbit at the end there. So if you folks are in for leaks, if you like learning more about the Wheel of Time ahead of time, I should market that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Of course, click the like button and watch for new videos by me in the next few days when I'm going to talk about some new cast members. All right. Thank you so very much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.